talking like and like sharing your feelings, like what you're going through. Don't be scared. Don't be like shy. I always like want to meet new people. Like I'm never shy. That can be like good thing or bad thing, but I feel like you find a new person, or like especially when you're like going through someone, find a good friend, find like a good like family member. Like it can be your father, your cousin, your sister, your mom, your grandpa. I don't know. Like yeah, find someone and talk with them and share everything you're going through, because like it's the best thing. Like when I did this stuff after, like not in my younger age, but like after with a psychologist, like someone, I felt immediately free. I felt like very good, very good.
Welcome to the UpTIC, brought to you by the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome and Associated Disorders, empowering children and adults through education, advocacy, and research by sharing the stories and experiences relevant to the TS community.
Hello and welcome back to the UpTIC. Today I'm speaking with Lorenzo Tiozzo, who grew up outside Venice, Italy, and recently graduated from the University of Florida, studying telecommunications with a specialization in film and TV production. He's also in the Rising Leaders program with the Tourette Association of America and is eager to continue his journey in Tourette advocacy. Lorenzo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Good?
Good. How's the weather in Italy today?
Yeah, the weather is perfect. Like there is a sunny day, and I'm living close to Venice. My hometown is called Chioggia, and I love it here. But like, sincerely, I prefer USA for like living and like studying and working. I think it's better.
I was gonna say, so you've gone back and forth. You grew up in Italy, you came to the United States for undergrad, now you're back in Italy, considering moving back maybe to New York for grad school, or looking at jobs in the United States. What is it like being back in Italy after spending, the last 4 years in the States?
It's like kind of weird. I saw my old friends or my high school friends, and it's good to see them. My family, it's good to see them every time. I'm like an independent person, so I prefer like going like to stay in the United States, and but like being back in Italy always great. The food is better here, I think.
I gotta say the best pizza I ever had in my life was actually at the train station in Naples. I don't know why. You guys would probably laugh and be like, this is not good pizza, but like I'm an American, so I didn't know what good pizza was, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is delicious, and I got it at like a train station.
Naples
Of all places.
is famous. Naples for pizza very famous. So
So good.
you go
I
everywhere there pizza, yeah.
It was very good. It takes guts to go to the United States, to leave and go to the other side of the world for university is huge. Was that something that you knew you always wanted to do, or how did that come about?
Since I was a child, like a kid, I was like always dreaming to go study in the United States, because I'm like very passionate from since I was 7 years old, like 8, for cinema. Like I was watching like all the masterpieces, like kind of Steven Spielberg, like Martin Scorsese, since I was like 7, 8 years old. And I think like seeing the United States as like the like Hollywood, like New York City for like cinema. And now also Atlanta, like is a good industry. Like they make all the blockbuster or the best movies like in the world. So like I always dreamed like to go study in the United States. And I did my first 2 years in Rome. Then I transferred to University of Florida. My dream came true, like you know what I mean. So like I was a little scared in the beginning. Moving to another country is always like hard, and like 9 hours to fly, like kind of 10 hours to fly. So like 6 years different time zones. So like it's kind of we're feeling in the beginning, but then I meet new people. Like it's the best thing to do. Like you enjoy every time there.
What was something that surprised you about the United States when you came here?
First steps, in the United States, in Gainesville, actually, like in my hometown, in my university hometown, it was like I saw that everything is bigger, but not just the streets, the car also, also the portion of the food when you go to the restaurant.
Oh, yes.
The portion of food is way bigger, like, you know what I mean?
We like to eat, and yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that before about America. We know that. No, glad to hear of it, and excited to hear more about your experience and kind of what your journey has been like. Well, I want to kind of start at the beginning here, and I'm so curious to hear what it was like growing up as a kid in Italy with Tourette's, and sort of what the how you were diagnosed, how all that came about. I'm curious to hear how that scene is different in Italy compared to the United States. Do you want to walk me through that early
Yeah.
part, some of those early years?
Story with Tourette's is kind of like sometimes like high and lows, like life is. And my tics started when I was like around 5 years old, and then like they start increasing like in the elementary school. Then like in the first years of middle school, I found out that there were like my father, and my mom, my family, and also especially my sister were always close to me. So they said like they were looking at me and they said like there is something weird like going on. Like I mean like he never did this stuff before. So like for like 5 years, 6 years, I start continuing doing tics like spasm, like normal like movements like that I could not control. And we found a specialized center in Milan. There was that one of the like 15 years ago was one of the only one that was like working with people with Tourette's. So like and then one of the only centers that diagnosed like people with Tourette's. You know, Tourette's for people, like, you know, with people. And so, like, we went there when I was like 11 years old, and we found out that I have Tourette syndrome. Like, but like the journey was very weird because it was very hard, like for me, also for the acceptance. Because like in Italy, it's like kind of like we are like still in the primitive like era, like primitive age, and like we know if you see like someone that's doing tics, like you always judge him, like you know what I mean. And then I started going through a lot, like going through some kind of depression during the high school, and I kind of skipped my first because the tic increased, like no, the tics increased a lot. So I skipped, like kind of didn't want to school a lot in the first 2 years of high school, and but then I said like yeah, it's normal for me, like because I always like hide the stuff. I never say to anyone that I have Tourette's. Like I never say like I try to control my tics a lot. So when I came back home, I was exhausted. So like I could not. I slept all day. I could not do anything. And so like the third year of high school, I changed high school and I went to very kind of American college because like also people for like from college study abroad in my high school, so like, it was cool. Like it was very cool, very cool boarding high school. And I say to them like, yo, first thing I say to them, yo, guys, I have Tourette syndrome, so like for me it's not a problem. I hope it's not a problem for you guys. So like, and we started like hanging out, having friends, like they're still have today. So like my best friends like are now from the high school. So like kind of like a process of acceptance in Italy is like a lot. It's a lot of a process of acceptance, and sincerely, I went through a lot, but now I'm figuring out that it's not a problem, and I love like living with rest. So like it's not a problem for me.
Wow, love hearing that, and always interesting to hear about people who had just a different experience because it's a different culture there, and Tourette's doesn't have the same level of awareness, recognition as it does here. I'm thrilled to hear you got into the boarding school where you found things were changing. You were able to develop that the personal acceptance more,
Yeah.
and build those friendships around you. And you didn't have to feel like hiding it all the time, or then being exhausted at the end of the day because you were hiding tics.
Yeah, and then also like being a boarding high school is like gave me the opportunity like to grow up, and then also like to like be like confident with the American system, like American college system. So like living in American college was like very easy for me. Like the first months was kind of hard, but then like I immediately like loving. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean like not a bunch of international students love like the experience in America, like the college experience. So like, but I absolutely love it because like I mean like UF was like an SEC, so like big college, like big frats, big like stadium. So it's kind of cool, yeah.
It's neat. Were you involved in Greek life when you were at
I was
UF?
not involved in Greek life because like I was not like all my friends were in Greek life, so we're all in the frat. But I could not join because like I was kind of old, like you know what I mean. They want you to join when you are freshman or sophomore. I joined the junior year, so then like I mean I didn't want to join too. Like I mean like they invite me to parties, stuff like that, to Tailgate. So I was not like I didn't want to join like
I know the feeling. At least you were at a school where like Greek life was open and inclusive enough, and that like you could still go to events and parties and meet the people. I was similar thing. I was not in a frat.
yeah, like I mean like no,
But
I mean the frat guys invite just who they want like to the parties.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, if you
I was
know them,
sometimes
you know,
yeah, I say let's do it. I mean
then
and
you're
then
good. Yeah, if you're friends with them, and no, that's it's great. And then your choice of major too. You were studying communications and specializing in film and TV or telecommunications as your major. It sounds like you always knew that that was kind of something you wanted to study or from a young age. Is that right?
yeah, I started my first 2 years so college in John Cabot is an American college in Rome where a bunch of people from like a bunch of university in America come study abroad for 1 semester, 1 year. So like I was enjoying that, but like I said, like this is not my environment. So like want like a big college, like literally the American experience that they're seeing the movies. So they're watching the movies, you want the American experience, and you have given the experience. But I think like my feeling to like being like in the film industry, like being like the media and film industry, I wanted to be always like in the film industry because like since I was a child. I always dreamed to like study in American college and being like working like one day in the media industry. Like can be like advertising or like film, but like media industry has always like caught my attention. You know what I mean?
Great. I mean, it's a great country for it. We do a lot of film and TV here, and definitely you set out on a good path there. But I'm curious to hear about some of the advocacy work you've done, and if you've done, especially with, it sounds like in the past year or so, you became a rising leader with TAA. Have you done any advocacy work in Italy, or has most of that been kind of your time here in the States?
In Italy, I didn't do too much because like I want to do stuff, but I was never been involved. Like, and I didn't like feeling like in high school to be involved. Like I wanted to
Mm.
focus on to my problems. But then I figured out that once I I went to like the United States to studies. I wanted like to like help also other people, like sharing my story, sharing my like to help like other people to feel like to make easier their way through with Tourette's. You know what I mean? And actually, I did a documentary for like one of my classes about my story. Like
Oh, cool.
I will send you later. And then like it's like a cool story. Like my father always took like videos of me while I was doing TIC, like since I was a kid. And yeah, I mean, I like interview myself, interview one of my friend, and like I made a documentary like so I kind of mini doc like 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And it was cool. Like it was very like very. I was very proud of myself because my father and my family was too. Because like literally it was like I could feel like to do like I mean like I promised to my dad one day I will make it I will make it sorry and I did.
That's amazing to hear. And also, if you don't mind, feel free to send over the documentary. I can include it with the speaker notes and with for the episode. If listeners want to hear it and watch it and learn from it, I think that'd be great, as long as you're comfortable with that. No, quite a journey here that you've had, and multiple countries, and it sounds like the journey you've had with Tourette's and the personal acceptance and becoming an advocate for it is more of a recent development with you joining the Raising Leaders program. For any of our listeners, we've got a number of different programs here to get involved in Tourette advocacy in the United States, and there's usually like so NJCTS has a youth advocate program. TAA, it's a very similar program. We call it Youth Ambassadors, and then after that, TAA has a program called Rising Leaders. And Lorenzo, what are the ages for that? It's like 18 to 25 or something.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, that's
24.
what I thought. Yeah.
I joined this year and it was like a crazy, amazing experience. So I love it. And we went to Washington D.C. for a training for 3 days.
Yeah.
Then we spoke with the senators, kind of on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, do a trip to the hill. Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like I mean, like for me, being like international students and living that was crazy. I mean, like I love it.
I imagine. I mean, I first did like one of those trip to the hills. I think back in 2008. I was going through the youth ambassador training way back then, and that was the highlight of the experience. Was just like seeing my Congress people, and that's what made it feel so real. And there was also like a bill that was going through Congress at that time that benefited people with genetic disabilities called the GINA Act, and we were advocating for that, and it passed afterwards. So it was really exciting. So I know that feeling. Definitely, kind of like it's a highlight in the journey, like when you can go and do something on a bigger scale like that and really feel like you're making that difference and meeting people.
Yeah. I found out like this one, like this thing, like this training online, and it popped up to me like on Instagram. I think like on in the newsletter, my main newsletter, and I said like, why not? I'm 24, like I still 1 year to do it. To like making like in the age, I say like let's try it now. Like I mean, like can be a great experience. So I can meet new people with Tourette's. That's the point. You meet everyone there has Tourette's, and you can talk about your problems. You can feel like very
Oh yeah.
accepted like immediately. Like so, like you walk inside the conference, where they make like the conference, and like he's crazy. Like he's crazy. Like you feel like literally accepted, and that's the
No,
best.
it's so true.
Yeah, that's the best feeling you can. I felt like a couple of years though. Insane.
I have always felt like that feeling that you just described, like that's the
Yeah,
goal for all of our world. Like I would love to have a world where you could always just tick
yeah,
freely, where you could feel that acceptance, where it's like I'm not going to look around me to see, okay, who's looking because I need to tick and I don't want to,
yeah,
do my tick in
exactly.
front of other people. You know, thought doesn't even cross my mind.
No, yeah,
I
yeah.
just tick.
No one cares there.
And it's like everyone gets it, or they may not know your tick specifically, but they see it, they hear it, and they're not going to judge. Uh,
Actually, let me correct. Like, not no one cares. Everybody cares of you. So like
yep,
that's good.
you're
That's
right.
good.
You're right.
Everybody
People,
cares.
and when you build friendships there too, like there's decent people that like you. Do you still
Yeah,
stay in touch with some of them?
yeah. I'm still in touch with some of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, like talk like also with the program director stuff, like people like that. So like
Hmm.
and asking them for advice, like because like I would like to move to the United States to work, and so like figuring out also for doctor stuff like that. So like yeah, it's different.
Definitely, good to stay in touch, and these can be lifelong friends. I mean, I've
Yeah.
made friendships with people in the Trek community that, yeah, they've become some of my closest friends
Yeah.
and supporters, and I love that. I'm excited to hear about how things go for you, and if you're able to make that move back to the United States, either whether that means for grad school or for a job. Hopefully, something there works out. And I know the visa process is can be very tiring and difficult, and just a challenge to get through. But I wish you all of the best with that. You're thinking kind of one of those two things right now, either maybe grad school or a
Yeah,
job?
yeah, I'm in between. Like, I'm still looking for like first a job because like I want to let my father and my family pay a lot of because like being international students is like the double of the price than being like in state. Like it's kind of out of state tuition, so
Yeah.
and that is more like with health insurance stuff like that. So I'm thinking like grad school, but like I'm before I want to look for a job, like find a job. So like yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking for a job, and then probably if I when I found a job. I will do a master program.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Trying to find that employment first. And, you may or may not even need the graduate degree if you've got a
Yeah,
job that,
exactly. I
has
also
the
be
stability to, yeah.
also I can be independent. You know what I mean with
Mhm.
my money, with my stuff. Yeah,
You definitely have this sense of independence. I think it's a testament to like you moved across the world for the last 2 years of undergrad and now moving back, and it's where do you think that came from, that sense of independence? Was that something your parents instilled in you? Did you always have it?
no, yeah. My parents always like wanted to be like yeah, independent in the choice. Like ask for advice, of course. Ask always for advice.
Yeah, yeah.
Also my choice, like also for my bachelor was like my choice, and they like say that yeah you can do it. Like I mean like I help you, but then I want like to see like the results. You know what I mean? So like the job can be the result. So like yeah,
Wow.
then my father always like travel a lot for work. So like he
Oh,
has like a bio research company. So like he works like with the United States too. So that was always my dream too. Like for that I took from my father. So like yeah.
wow, that's incredible. Did they get to visit you while you were in Florida?
Yeah, yeah. They brought me the first time to Gainesville, Florida,
Oh,
and then they came back like for graduation. So like after 2 years, they came
good.
back.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Then I went back like for Christmas for like the holidays. I mean like yeah, Christmas and summer.
When you think about like the Tourette's advocacy and the work that needs to get done to build a more inclusive world, to educate more people on Tourette's, what do you think are some of the biggest goals there, or the biggest challenges in just spreading that awareness?
I mean, I think like there is still a bunch of judgments, like bunch of like stereotypes that like people doesn't want to like understand, like other people, not people with Tourette's, and they don't want to understand. Like they kind of live a normal life. I think normality that doesn't exist. Like there is no
Mhm.
normal life because everyone has their problems. So like, I mean, I think like sharing awareness, like fighting for the stuff, like still like advocacy especially. like helping other people they are in need is the best way to like having a better world. Like I mean, like and I mean, helping the others is always like a thing that makes you proud, but also makes proud the people that is in need. Yeah, people still judge other people, so that's the problem. I felt I was how can I say bullied, like the people like they judge me a lot in high school and also in the middle school, and I felt like very like said I want to give up, like I want to like just stay home, like don't do anything. Like I fell into depression, like that was the worst problem. But then like thanks to like the help of good friends, family, my sister, my parents, I was able to like make through the way. Like I mean, like I was able like to be who I am like today. Yeah, and I felt now I feel good. Like sometimes I still like high and lows, but like
Yeah.
I still feel good. Like I mean, like I'm alive for now. I'll graduate, so like I have good friends. That's I'm still like very like how can I say like my attention, like my ADHD, because I have Tourette's, OCD, and ADHD. My ADHD is very bad. Like I mean, like I can focus on some stuff, and then like, I can say, no, I don't want to do it again.
I know, and the priorities of it, and so it changes
Yeah.
as you go through life. Like I've tried an OCD, or excuse me, tried an ADHD, and yeah, as an adult, honestly, the ADHD is probably the more kind of just like
Worse.
interfering or whatever, the more the I guess problem, if you want to call it a problem. I don't know.
No, yeah.
It shows up in my life in more ways that I need to be mindful of, and just like know how it impacts me. In a lot of ways, I like it. I think it kind of makes my brain an idea
Yeah.
generator. I'm good at coming up with new ideas, and it gives me sort of a fast-paced sort of, I don't know, like there's sort of something motivating about my ADHD, when you can embrace it like that as like a superpower, but still not without its challenges. And I think a lot of our listeners can relate to just your experience being through like those middle school, early high school years where there wasn't as much acceptance, where maybe facing bullying, you mentioned feeling depressed. And I'm glad you had a support system of like your family around you to help get you through that. And that, unfortunately, it's something, it's common. A lot of people with Tourette have those years, have that time where there's a lot of bullying, and it's hard just to fit in, to feel that social acceptance. I wonder if there's any advice you can share, or just more you can speak to that kind of person who may be listening. What would you tell them if they're going through that kind of time?
So when I faced bullying, like I was like very like low, like I was like literally like I want to give up everything. But then, like, I think like a good advice is like speak with someone. Like, there is like bunch of opportunities also with Tourette Association of America, the New Jersey Center for Tourette's. You can speak like with psychologists, like people that know is like they can help you. Like they know what you're going through, like doctors, like stuff like that. Especially another advice that I would like to give, like you have a close friend, you have your father, you have your mother, you have your sister or brother, speak with them. They live with you and they know what you're going through. So like they can literally help. Don't be like ashamed. Don't be like scared to like talk with them, because they are your family. They will support you every time. So like, you know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah, I mean, both those are great. I think knowing that Tourette is like, it's a real documented condition. The medical community knows about it. We've documented it for many years, and there's other people going through this. This is a known experience, and it is valid and very real. And then the second, like you said, leaning into those relationships, your friends, your family, wherever you get that support group from, could be a best friend, could be, a parent, a cousin, whoever that is, that you can really go and be yourself with, someone who just hears you out when you talk, and you can just be open and free when you're having one of those rough days. That's so important.
And then especially with the researches that they were like in the last couple of years. So like Tourette's is becoming like more like well known. You know what I mean? So like yeah.
Do you find it's getting more well known in Italy? I don't know how much visibility you have of this with it being okay. I'm curious, just like with TikTok and with like social media.
Yeah, in the last 15 years, like it became like way better. Like they opened like more centers for Tourette's, like
Wow.
more like researchers like in the university. The medicine from the United States come here. So we have like new therapy, new like kind of like medicines. And I think also like especially in the with the advertising, like with social media, it's becoming like better. Like because like I think like I don't know, like in the last couple of years, like I met like bunch of people. There's like Tourette, so that's like tics, you know what I mean, or ADHD. It's like become like increasing because like the world becoming more like fast paced. So
Mm-hmm.
like ADHD, like stuff like that are increasing a lot.
We're seeing a lot more people get diagnosed, getting that attention
Yeah,
awareness, out there, and whatever it is that's going on, causing this stuff, we're at least on top of it, I think, but better than we used to be, and catching those cases often earlier on, and
yeah, that's
able to
good.
bring that support to people at a sooner is always the goal, and so that people, so that we can do our best so people don't have to suffer as much or go through those years of bullying and stuff. It
Yeah,
still happens, and there's still work to be done, but yeah,
yeah, that's a problem. Bullying will happen like every time.
you can never completely eradicate it.
I don't think so. Like, and then like you have to move on. Like, yeah,
Mm,
just you have to figure out like the very good friends. You know how to follow like the crowd, and then like be like yourself and like be like with your good friends. So like, that's
it's hard to do in the moment because you're just trying to get through the day, and you get bullied, and it's like you may feel like you don't have friends or don't even have that circle. And then now, like fast forward years later, you've got a university degree, you're going back and forth between the United States and Italy, you've got friends in both places. Like it's a night and day difference. And I think that's hard to see when you're sitting there in middle school ticking up a storm and feeling like it's just, the worst part of your life. It's hard to kind of see the bigger picture that like this is a temporary thing. I mean, whether or not your tics go away, like whatever, but where you're at right now is going to change as you go through. You meet new people, have new experiences, your symptoms evolve, get different support groups, and so I tell people to keep pushing through because our situations do change and evolve as we go through life. And it can be hard to see that for what it is. Like when you're just trying to get through the day and like, have 3 meals a day or shower, or like do the basic things we got to do. And your tics are bad and co-occurring conditions. It's a lot. But that stuff it's not necessarily gonna always be that way for the rest of your life. That's not the new normal. That is a time you're in right now, and I tell people, keep pushing forward, and things will change.
Yeah, I totally agree because I also like I think like people that doesn't have Tourette's as some other problems, so like it's a temporary thing, like and then like you figure out how to move on. Like that's not good, but that's the good thing of life. Like they like you have a challenge and like a movie, like you have to figure out like how to move on. Like that's good. That's a good life. But then I think like it's like a little like a movie, like a movie without like a challenge is not it
Yeah.
doesn't have plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's
it.
a great way to look at it. Yeah, you got to have plot, you have to
Yeah,
have tension, there has to be conflict in a good story. There's got to be,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, something driving
And
the
we have like
story.
a climax, like something
Yeah.
you fight for.
It's a beautiful way to to kind of think about that. I remember you saying you've got the tics, the Tourette, and then OCD and ADHD. Have
Yeah.
you found as you've gotten into adulthood here, you're 24 now, do you still have all three of those? Have any of them gone away or kind of gone into remission?
ADHD is the I think right now ADHD like with I graduated, but like studying like ADHD was like the worst part.
Mm,
Because like then it makes like it come like with the tics, and like, it's kind of like all related. Like I have obsessive tics, like and I wash my hands a couple of times, like that's like an obsessive tics,
hmm
and I do like this stuff with the neck, touch my eyes, so like I scratch my here. You can see like I have like a little like stitches, like and then like scratch like here. Right? I'm living with that, but like right now it's not a problem. But like if it's like when I'm very nervous, like not painful, like very like stressful.
Yeah, no, I bet. And also there are painful tics too.
Yeah,
I've had
yeah.
one
I had
recently now too.
mine.
My tongue is in my mouth was last night. I actually was afraid I'd not be able to talk right because my tongue was swelling yesterday because I kept sliding on some sharp edges of some of my teeth in my mouth.
Me
And
too. I bite my tongue
I
sometimes.
bite my tongue. Yeah, I probably bit my tongue 200 times yesterday, and I've gotten better when that tick flares up at kind of relaxing and trying to do some competing responses and
Yeah.
things to. But honestly, yesterday I didn't have it in me, and I was just doing the tick again and again. And at night, I'm like I had trouble sleeping last night because my tongue was just like throbbing. I was in so much pain,
I
but
Sorry.
you know.
I always have like kind of trouble sleeping because I always moving. Like I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah. Or
moving.
you wake yourself up sometimes with the tics. Like I find that I'm like, oh, I got a tic, and now it's like, well, that just used like three muscles. Now I feel kind of awake.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these Tourette organizations, NJCTS, the Tourette Association of America, how did that come about?
Okay. So like me in Italy, like when I was in Italy, also like I was trying like my father like was always like very like was involved with the like the Italian Tourette Association, but also was like trying to see like some new therapy through the American Association, like other association in America and around the world. And he was looking at some like the first association in America that I got like involved was like the New Jersey Center of Tourette
Oh
Syndrome,
yeah.
and I got into like with the I did like the team hour program, the leadership
Okay.
program, but
Yeah,
like
Tim Howard.
did
Yeah.
online because it was during COVID, so I did online.
Oh,
I was
okay.
one of
You
the
were part of the
selected
online
people. Like,
cohort that year. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Oh,
like
I didn't know you did that. So you did the Tim Howard Leadership Academy, the
I
virtual.
wanted to come like to Rutgers University and like to do it, but like I couldn't because like it was that was during COVID, so they put like everything online. There's like everything
I'm
online.
going I'm a coach there, and I'm gonna coach again this fall. And a couple years since I was last there, it was such a great opportunity. And yes, you know, of course, even better when it's in person. And
Yeah,
you
and then
know,
also Rutgers is good. It's a good university too. So like,
it's cool. You get to live on the campus for a few days, and you
like
eat there at the dining hall, and you're just kind of. I mean, they keep us. There's like no students around. It's really just like our
that's
group of the academy students, but it's really great and just such an awesome opportunity to meet people. And I mean, people are crying tears of joy at the end, just like because it's such an impactful experience for them, getting to meet people, be in that accepting environment. And I think there's a good philosophy there. I think what we instill in people, there's a lot of like resilience and grit and just like loving yourself and like being accepting of who you are. And I love the message of it. It's so powerful.
yeah,
And I see that when kids, from day one to like day four, whatever, when it ends, it is a night and day difference. And just in a number of these students, just how they think about themselves and their experience and putting it into perspective. And you walk away with some new friends that you've got with Tourette, and it's really incredible.
so yeah, I was very happy like to be part of like of that group. Like it was online, so like I didn't speak a good English in that moment. So like I learned English during college, like the next 2 years after 2021, 2020, like. So
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, and it was a great opportunity. Like I've talked with some people. I'm not very in touch right now with some people in the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. I'm more in touch with the Tourette Association of America, and I didn't stay in touch because like my problems that I had, like stuff like that. But like I'm really happy like to like right now talk with you that you are part of the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. And happy, like I'm very glad. So yeah,
Hey,
it's a pleasure.
definitely good, yeah, good common ground, and you'll meet people through this that over the years that yeah that you wouldn't expect. Just it can go in all sorts of different directions and help you in a lot of ways. And just I mean, yeah, I met you because through a referral, somebody was mentioning you were just in your job search and kind of just finished your degree. You have Tourette, so considering New York City, and so they asked if I want to jump on a call, and so we did, and that's how I got to meet you, and then thought, oh, how do you want to be on our podcast and talk about share your story with a broader audience. So you never know where these things are going to go, and yeah, life's full of
Yeah,
new
it's
exciting
beautiful. Like
things.
always come back.
I know, and it's good though that yeah that you come back and are staying involved in this space. I'm excited, really excited to see what you continue to do in the upcoming years. And even if
Yeah,
there's work to be done in Italy, or if you come back to the United States and are involved in advocacy here, definitely no
like
shortage of ways to get involved.
to tell you.
It's good. It's a good place to be. And yeah, I hope the visa process goes well and smoothly and that all works out. But were there certain situations where you found that your tics got better or went away? Like playing soccer, for example. When you're playing
Yeah,
sport, does it just you don't tic as much?
you know what? Like doing like swimming.
Oh, swimming like in a swimming
My
pool.
bad,
Yes,
my
yes,
bad,
yes,
my
yes.
bad. Sports in general. I play guitar since I was a kid, like since I was 10 years old. But like classical music, and then I moved to like acoustic, like pop songs. I sing a little. It's like a therapy for me. Like sports and music are a therapy. Like when I'm very nervous, I relax myself, like playing like guitar, but like do some sports. I mean, like yeah.
And I have also found music can help with my tics. I used to play drums. I
Oh,
was a percussionist, and like
that's good.
I just like didn't tick when I was drumming. I don't know why. I just like didn't. It was as if I didn't have Tourette's. Like you would not know if you were watching me. The tics like actually just disappeared. Hey, Lorenzo, it's been awesome chatting with you here, and nice just kind of shooting the breeze here and having some good casual chat. I always like to ask, and we've covered some of this already on this episode, but I always like to ask if you've got any advice for especially young people with Tourette, maybe newly diagnosed, or those people we talked about kind of going through those rough middle school years, or the years where your tics are flaring, you might be facing bullying, things like that. What advice would you give to a young person with Tourette?
I mean, like, a good advice is the thing, like, always think, like, I should have done, like, when I was, like, younger. Think, like, I never, like, I mean, I was going through a process of acceptance. I never, like, talk a lot with anyone close to me. Like I said before, like, talking, like, and, like, sharing your feelings, like, what you're going through is always a good thing, because you feel, like, immediately, like, free after you, like, share a story, an episode that happened, like, in school, or, like, outside school. And I think, like, yeah, finding, like, good, like also the Association of America, the American Association, like, has bunch of, like, resources, like, helpful resources, like, they can give you some advice. So, like, don't be scared, don't be, like, shy, don't be, like, just, like, talk with someone, and, like, try to, like, I'm very like that, like, I mean, I always, like, want to meet new people, like, I'm very, like, I'm never shy. That can be, like, good thing or bad thing, but I feel like you find a new person, or, like, especially when you're, like, going through someone, find a good friend, find, like, a good, like, family member, like, it can be your father, your cousin, your sister, your mom, your grandpa, I don't know, like, yeah, find someone and talk with them and share everything you're going through, because, like, it's the best thing. I mean, like, when I did this stuff, after, like, not in my younger age, but, like, after, with a psychologist, like, someone, I felt immediately free. I felt, like, very good, very good. You know what I mean?
That's a great, but that's actually an amazing piece of advice that I don't know if I've heard as much, which is just like find your person that you can kind of connect with, whether that's like a parent, a cousin, a friend, like grandpa, whatever that is in your life, that person, and sharing with them, sharing what you're going through. Because like, I think we have this unrealistic expectation that you have to have like a great, rich social circle and multiple friends and lots of people in your life. And like, honestly, if you've got one solid friend, like that goes a long way. And don't drive yourself crazy trying to find this like perfect, amazing, rich friend group. Like if you've got one or two people in your life and you can talk to them and you feel you can be vulnerable with them, you can be yourself, you can talk to them about what's going on, ask questions, even if they're not someone who has Tourette's, if they're just someone who cares about you and like cares about your experience, that goes such a long way, and can help with getting through some of those tougher years.
We always want something more in life. Like, if you have something like that is very, like, that means something for you. Like, you're very close, like a friend, like a good friend. You always want to be popular, like, but no, like, it's like, what I learned from life, that I know a bunch of people, but like, the people the good friend, the very good close friend, people that count in two hands, like, people that count, like, in one hand, like, literally few people that I can really trust, and, in my life. And, I feel like, yeah, just be yourself, like, and talk with at least one person that you like, that means something for you, and like you can like literally share everything, and you will feel like immediately like better.
Love that. Such great advice and just like powerful words there. Lorenzo, it's been awesome having you on the UpTIC. Thank you again for coming on and sharing your story, and I wish you all the best in grad school, work, and beyond.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much, the invitation. So, like, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the UpTIC, brought to you by the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome and Associated Disorders, empowering you to stretch the boundaries to live your best life.